Homeschooling is a privilege. Hey y'all, welcome back to another vlog. I am Kayla, aka FitMomsBlog, and thank you so much for being here. I haven't picked up the camera in a really long time, and when I do pick up the camera, I never look at the footage again. I never edit it. Like, I'm really struggling with the fine line between privacy and putting myself out there. I really would like to put myself out there, but when I get to having to do it, I'm like, so just something I'm struggling with. But I'm back, y'all. I really want to make it a point to document my journey and all the things that are moving throughout my life. If you're new here and you've never watched any of my vlogs before, I'm Kayla. I'm a 30-year-old stay-at-home and homeschooling mother of 3. My oldest, my stepdaughter, goes to regular school, and then my littles, I have a 7-year-old and an almost 6-year-old. I homeschool both of them. My son, I would call him in 1st and a half grade, and my daughter is in 2nd and a half grade. And I say half grade because she's halfway through some of her 2nd grade classes and like almost about to start 3rd grade classes. If she was in regular school, she would only be in 2nd grade, and if my son was in regular school, he would only be starting kindergarten. So they're both Cairo's about a half a year ahead. She did go to regular school for 1st grade and 3 days of, or for kindergarten and 3 days of 1st grade. And then on the 2nd day of 1st grade, I realized, I was like, I found my homeschool curriculum, and I pulled her out of brick and mortar, and we started homeschool the next day. So yeah, I homeschooled my 2 kids. When I was in high school, I did hair. Hold on, these lines are jacking me up. Been using this cup a lot, obviously, but what's the best that can happen? But yeah, so when I was in high school, I worked at Kmart. I'm from Pittsburgh, PA, but I live in Charlotte, North Carolina now. I've been in Charlotte for about 3.5 years. And here comes one of my kids. What's up, baby? I'm done buying that bread. Gonna make bread with me today? I haven't perfected my bread recipe yet, and my daughter likes bread and strawberry jam for breakfast. My husband had bought some plain waffles, which she likes, and I don't want to buy store-bought bread anymore, so she either has the option, my daughter either has the option to eat the waffles that we have, or she can make some bread with me. But I read the ingredients out loud to my husband in the store yesterday, and I was like, we're not buying this bread. Like, this is just like, no. So I need to perfect it, and if she wants me to perfect it, because really I'm perfecting it for her sandwich bread. No one else really uses that bread, so I need her to be a part of it. That way she can learn, she can do it herself. But back to what I was saying, I worked at a Kmart in Pittsburgh, PA, and then I started doing hair. I started braiding, like doing my little sister's hair when I was very young, but I started doing my first sewing. I had a mentor, one of my friends, her mom. She did hair for years, and she taught me like so much. She taught me a lot about the business and everything. So I started my first sewing, I think I did, when I was like 14 or 15. But I've been getting paid to do hair since I was 13. I started doing kinky twists, if y'all remember those. I was doing kinky twists. I didn't really like micros. I did 2 of them. I didn't do that good, and I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. But kinky twists, then I got into braids, and then I slowly got into like quick weaves and sew-ins and a bunch of other stuff, right? So that was that. High school, I went to Woodland Hills in Pittsburgh, and then I went to Slippery Rock, which is in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. That's where I went to college. I got a degree in sustainable management, which is basically like the science side of management, but also like the number side. I really love math. I love science. I love nature. So my mom actually picked my degree. I don't even know what the screen looked like, but she picked my degree, but she picked it for me, and she picked perfectly, right? So sustainable management, because I like to recycle. I like to reduce, reuse, recycle, and save the earth, tree hugger, all type of things like that. But also I like to find ways to make sure you're saving money in any area of your life. So like I like to upcycle furniture and like find old stuff and make it new instead of buying a bunch of new stuff. Like, I love a good thrift store. I love a reused item, something like that, right? Or something being used for something that it wasn't originally purposed for. So yeah, that's like a little bit about me. And then when I got out of college, I was working at my dad's bar. My dad owns a bar in Pittsburgh, so I was a bartender there for a couple years, 2.5 years maybe. Then I got pregnant with my daughter, and I stopped working at the bar around 4 months because they allow cigarette smoke. Well, they did at that time, and it was making me sick, so I couldn't work anymore. And then yeah, I just been a stay-at-home mom ever since then. I worked in the home health field like in the past couple years, and then I started my own home health agency back in 2023. Now, if you're familiar with home health, it's like home health aides where you work either with like the elderly or adults with intellectual disabilities or those with autism. My business and like my specialty in this industry is adults with intellectual disabilities and autism. So my company is called Family Spectrum Care. I started this company 2 years ago in lieu of something that had happened with my husband and I and like previous business ventures. So we started this company, and after 2 years, so we did it back in like May of 2023, and come February of 2025, you have to get invited to an orientation. Basically, you have to take an 8-hour training and stay on camera all day, take tests and do stuff like that in order to even like qualify for one of these companies. So I took the training, I took the test, I passed the test, then I started going through the process of getting qualified for all my services. So, you know, a lot of documentation, a lot of policies, just a lot of time, a lot of grinding for me, and it's taught me a lot. I recently had a job at a home health care agency, and it from a different perspective, the same perspective of what I was doing before, but more really hands-on, like the overall picture. So it taught me a lot about how to run my own company on my own, and not really leaning on too many people for too many things. Now, granted, in this industry, you need a team for sure, but I'm one who really likes to learn how to do everything so that I can adequately teach someone how to do something. I can't just be like, here, do this, but I never did it before. So that's how I like to do it. And then today I really want to finish out my PA behavioral specialist license. If you don't know what a behavioral specialist is, it's someone who works with adults with intellectual disabilities or autism or elderly, just someone who helps you with coping skills and your behavior. Because if you aren't familiar with AAW and IDD individuals, they have they can go into crisis, they have behaviors, and so you have to know how to de-escalate those behaviors. And I just wanted further training on it. And I wanted to open up a new realm within my business to bring in other behavioral specialists. And really, if you know me, I'm one who really likes to help people. Like, I will give somebody the shirt off my back. Like, and I think it's like first daughter syndrome. Like, I like to help people. And I've made a business out of it. I've made a brand out of it as far as FitMomsBlog. Like, FitMomsBlog was originally started to teach mothers about the information that we're not always privy to. So eating healthier, not taking prenatals when you're pregnant, not doing the diabetes test when you're pregnant, not allowing your babies to get shots or erythromycin or no Pitocin or no... so many things. Like, that's going to have to be a whole nother video, but like, that's where it started, and then it kind of grew into like me and my lifestyle. And I haven't really always posted like the full spectrum of who I am, and I think it's really time for that. I feel like I have a lot to offer and I have a lot to learn as well. Don't get me wrong, I'm a learner. I love learning. I love being around people that can teach me. I love being able to teach, but I love learning. There's just so much to learn. You don't know what you don't know, and any person who thinks that they know everything, thinks they got it figured out, is the person who doesn't have it figured out. The loudest in the room is always the emptiest inside, and that's to me. Like, that's something that I always felt about people. Like, you don't have to feel like you're one-upping somebody or be better than somebody. Like, how about you look at this person and be like, oh, they could teach me something? Because I don't care who you are. And I even told my daughter yesterday, I'm raising emotionally intelligent humans. And I'm honest with my kids about everything. And I straight up told my daughter yesterday, like, just because you're younger than somebody doesn't mean you can't teach them something. Because you teach me stuff all the time. My kids watch this show called Wildcrafts, and if your kids don't watch it on PBS Kids, get them watching it. I homeschool, so I try to find a lot of different ways for my kids to learn, and they love Wildcrafts. Like, Wildcrafts is an entertaining show to them, but they also learn a lot about animals, and that's why we recently got a snake. Like, we love animals, right? So my kids are learning a lot on Wildcrafts, and they're teaching me. So when I took them to the Columbus Zoo, they were telling me stuff and saying stuff, and I'm just like, how do you know this? But you know, I watch the show with them sometimes, but not all the time. They watch it when they're like sitting in their rooms. They have recliner chairs, like they be chilling watching Wildcrafts, and it just makes me really proud to have grown into the woman that I am now, like teaching my kids the way that I'm teaching them, and just they're eager to learn new things too. So yeah, now I'm a homeschool, stay-at-home mom. I use an online curriculum called Power Homeschool. We have science, social studies, reading, and Spanish. Science, social studies, reading, Spanish, and math. And it takes us about an hour a day if we do every day. Now, sometimes we'll skip, and then the next day we do homeschool. As long as it's within Monday through Friday, it'll make us catch up before it tells us our goal is accomplished. So I set the goals. I have the app on my phone, and then I set the goals, and I can say I want them to do, I think they do 25 steps within reading per week. Reading and math have the most lessons, like science and social studies. They could finish science and social studies, the class as a whole, very quickly. My daughter has now created this, I don't know, competition within herself to see how fast she can complete her social studies class. And she's already about to be done with second grade social studies within, I think it's by November. I think she's doing it when I think she's just using her tablet. Like, so their homeschool is right on their iPads. And usually it's them sitting down with me and me watching and hearing them doing it and helping them throughout the lesson. And then I have like a bunch of worksheets and stuff that we do on paper. We don't just do the tablet work. I don't feel like the tablet work is beneficial, especially for my son with reading and for my daughter with math. She took a break on second grade math, and now I bought her a second grade math workbook off of Amazon, so we work on that, and we use blocks and stuff to try to help her with math, because she's doing big problems like 87 minus 39, and she's like, what is this, you know? So I'm using different things to help them in the areas that they're struggling. And that's another thing, like, I wanted to touch on. I feel like it's important to be honest about the struggles that we go through in life. I feel like if I had recorded my story from like 10 years ago, it would be a good story to watch. The things that I've gone through, and you know, there's just, to be honest, there's a lot of things that I just can't talk about, and that's okay. But I just think, like, if you know me, you know the trials and tribulations that I've gone through, and I think it's really important to shed light on all the struggles that you go through, you know. And I see people on the internet not being realistic about their lives and like what they really go through, and you know, it's like, oh, I'm trying to keep up with this and I'm trying to look like this. Like, I'm not trying to look like nothing, and I think that really sets me apart from a lot of people. Don't get me wrong, I love to get cute and do all of that, but like, I'm a natural girly, hands in the dirt, do my own lock girly. I love me a lash though. I love me a lash. Love my lash tech, but friend, she's an esthetician, Gloria. Lash glue. Love me a lash, right? Gloria, I might be calling you soon. But other than that, like, I haven't even had my toes done, and like, I feel like I'd be catching my husband looking at my toes. So like, maybe I'll get my toes done, but thinking about putting chemicals on my nails and like learning about the chemicals, and like, that's another thing. Like, you get me to reading the back of something and I'm just like, no. But like, yeah, I'm just like a super chill, natural type of person, and I'm connected to my family, I'm connected to my plants. Like, there's not too much that, you know, could bother me. really. So I'm kind of set apart because I'm okay with being in the house. And I get a lot of questions like, aren't you tired of being in the house with the kids? You don't want to send them to school? And I'm like, school? My oldest is off the house by 6:30. I'm sorry, but a year and a half of homeschooling has spoiled me. Out the door by 6:30 with littles. I used to do it with my daughter. Uh, Homeschooling is a privilege. Homeschooling is a privilege. Homeschooling is a privilege. So when people ask me, "Oh, you don't want to do this or you don't want to do that," do you understand that I get to cuddle with my kids, and that's a privilege. That's a blessing, and it's just crazy because out here in the workforce, like if I've applied for jobs, like when our lives changed 2.5 years ago, I applied for over 50 jobs and not one company contacted me back. So this job pool out here is absolutely terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And then it's like if you go get a job, then at the time, like my son wouldn't have been old enough for daycare, so we would have had to pay for daycare. I would have only had like $1,000 left. What am I going to work for? Because then it's like my husband pays the bulk of the bills. What? Then I go to work so I can put him in daycare and only come out $1,000 on the other end. There just needs to be no dilly dallying, you know. Like, so I don't dilly dally. I don't do much. I'm a stay-at-home mom, but like we're not. It's not bankroll over here. Like it's not like I be in Target and stuff like that. Like back when I was working, like I would go buy stuff, but like I never would buy stuff that was not a necessity. Like me dilly dallying is like going to get a new hamper and going to Sam's, like going to like I don't know. So like when I see people, I be like, dang. I really don't even think about stuff like that. Like, I don't sit around and look at clothes, shoes. Like, I don't know what's out. I've been wearing the same foam runners for 2 years. And not because I can't buy shoes, but just because I don't be thinking about that. I want my feet in the grass. Like, I just, it's just not even something that I think about. So, like, I realized that I'm going to go get her the waffles and I'll come back. Okay, I'm back. I had to give my daughter breakfast. I don't even know where I was at. But yeah, I think it's really time to start to not be so camera shy, and to just really just let my personality show. And if you really get to know me, I'm really loving. I'm a nurturer, and I just want my people to feel good. And I want to feel like a safe space, and I hope I have felt like that. And the thing about growing up is like you realize the things that you've done wrong and even the wrong mindsets you've had in certain situations, your reactions and things like that. And I've just grown so much. I've healed a lot. And I've realized that the parts of my life that have affected me in my present day. And I haven't done any therapy or anything like that, but I've done my own therapy in my, spiritual realm. And I understand what I needed to do within myself. And I've started it. I've done it. I'm working on it. And healing is linear. Because there's always triggers. And there's always things that could kind of take you back to where you used to be. Or want to respond the way you used to. So I've just really been diving in. Working on myself. And trying to change my aura. I get pegged as someone who like is probably mean because I have an RBF and things like that. But once you learn why people are a certain way, you don't have. I don't have such a judgmental way of looking at people. And I feel like when I used to judge people, it was like me really judging myself. And it was also somebody who was really close to me. I noticed that they are very judgmental, and they will always say stuff about people for absolutely no reason. And I feel like that was a learned behavior from an adult in my life. And like now it's just like I gotta fix that. I can't be like that, and I just feel like we all know that childhood affects the way and who we are as we get older. So yeah, I decided to really focus on myself recently and really hone in on the things that I want to fix within myself and grow within myself so that I can be this entrepreneur that I am becoming. So yeah, with all that being said, I'm super excited to start my home healthcare agency. I'm excited to move forward in the area that I'm doing it. I'm used to doing residential, so I understand that side, but now I'm on like the home healthcare side, so I'm learning a lot because it is a lot different, but it's not as tedious as residential. If you can run a residential home care agency, then you can definitely run a non-residential. So yeah, I'm excited, and I really truly want this, and I'm doing this for me. Like, I'm doing this video for me so I can come back and say, you know, I've been having these ideas, but to put them on video and say like, this is what I want to do, so I have a timestamp, so when I do it, I can look back at this video and be like, look at you, this is how long it took you from the moment you decided to say like, I'm manifesting this is gonna happen for me. So yeah, I really want my home health agency to be super successful, not for the success of myself, but for the success of the programs that I would like to make out of them. I would really like to make make a nonprofit, create a nonprofit with my younger sister, because she has a lot of experience in that realm. And we're going to start a nonprofit, and I want to do programs for women, and I want to eventually get to the point where we have funding, and we're doing cars for single moms. We're doing, you know, scholarships to pay for CDLs, scholarships to pay for trades, scholarships to pay for different things, different realms they want to get into, and using my home healthcare agency as a stepping stone to get them to where they want to be, whether they want to go to school or something like that. Like I also truly enjoy teaching children, so one day I would like to have a school within my nonprofit. And so these mothers who are going through our programs, they're not only sending their children to our daycares and our schools so that they can go to school to elevate their lives, and I want to see them through these programs, and whoever meets all the criteria of the program wins a house. And I want to give away a house every year. So my goal is to be successful so that I can do that, so that I can have a farm. Like, yes, I want to have a farm, I want to have animals, and I want to have a family compound where I look outside and I can see my mom walking down the driveway with dust coming up behind her, coming to give me something, or coming to get something from me. Like, that's what I see for my life. But outside of my life, and like my purpose, outside of just the people that I'm responsible for, I feel like I'm responsible for these mothers. I feel like I'm responsible for these children. Like, sisterhood, girlhood, womanhood is way different than I ever expected it to be. I don't feel like there's enough unity within our community as brown mamas and just mamas in general. So like, when I was in Pittsburgh, I was doing the moms walks, and we would get together and just talk and walk and really just fellowship and be there for each other. I really miss that community. That's one of the biggest things that I struggle with being here versus being back home in Pittsburgh. Like, I really miss the moms walks. But yeah, I want to eventually do that and grow my nonprofit to be something that's nationwide, you know. So those are the things that I'm really working towards, but I have to first get this home healthcare off the ground. So if you're in Pittsburgh and you're a DSP or a CNA or a nurse, or you have a master's degree in psychology or a number of things, if you're interested in a home healthcare at all, hit me up, because I might have a position for you. But yeah, I'm just like super excited for all the things that are coming for me, and I just want to be able to be transparent about the various changes that go on in my life and just bring y'all on the journey. So I appreciate y'all yapping with me this morning. I just wanted to come on and be me. That's something that I have a lot of nerves about, so I hope that I can kind of get the nerves out by posting this video. But I will see y'all soon. I'm gonna pick up this camera, get back to showing y'all how we're doing homeschool and stuff like that. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, join the family, and we'll see you next time. Bye.